Hi guys, welcome to our Precious Thots episode 2. I'm in Vixens and we have our lovely
I'm
Rose.
Alice. Welcome back. We are our Precious Thoughts. This is a lifestyle podcast where we talk about the not so glamorous parts of life and style. So first, where are we at today, Emma? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I got my cute little two-piece set on from Rainbow. Feeling cute, feeling good. How are
Yeah,
you feeling today, Alessandra?
I'm
I mean,
feeling
Alice,
beautiful.
my bad.
Wait, we're slowly getting used to that.
Yeah.
I'm feeling beautiful today as well. I took my time getting ready, definitely.
You look beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you. So do you in our little two-piece set
I
moment
know.
today.
Period.
So, what are we getting into? What are we getting into on today's podcast?
Today, we're going to talk about some celebrities and influencers. So, what are some of your favorite celebrities you looked up to growing up or
Some of
now?
some celebrities I looked up to growing up, I would say the ones that stand the most out to me that's I still think about and look back to would definitely be Paris and Hilton and Nicole Richie.
Oh, hell
Watching
yeah.
watching The Simple Life when I was a kid, I probably shouldn't have looked up to that.
Yeah, they're not the best role models.
But I do think today they're very relevant in the realm of what people want to be as an influencer or what they think an influencer is. Like they're literally famous for doing nothing.
Yeah, goals, honestly.
So who are some people, some celebrities or influencers that you look up to or that you liked?
Well, like growing up, I was really drawn to like Filipino artists and like celebrities like Nicole from Pussycat Dolls. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, so fine. Vanessa Hudgens, she's Filipina. I didn't even know that, honestly, for a long
I
time.
actually did know that. I don't know how, to be honest, but I did know that actually.
And then like Sierra, just a bunch of bad bitches, you know? I love them.
I agree with Sierra. Sierra definitely was. She could do it all, really. Singing,
Literally.
dancing.
Yeah, she's
She
so hot.
she just owns it.
She does.
How did looking up to these celebrities affect you? Like since they were like Nicole from Pussycat Cat Dolls, were you like? Did you feel empowered because she was Filipina, or did you find yourself kind of comparing yourself to her? What was the effect?
A little both, you know, like I really thought it was beautiful, the Filipino representation, but also I've always been a little on the chubbier side growing up. So like I was constantly comparing myself to these extremely skinny celebrities and that was not good. That wasn't it.
Yeah, I'm with that. Like when I go back, even like I said, Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, love them. When I look back and watch The Simple Life as a kid, I'm blinded to everything a little bit. Like when I was a kid, I was blinded to the fact that like they have money for surgery, they have money
Yeah.
for hair extensions, they have money for makeup, they have money for clothes. I would just be like, I want to look like that. I want to be like on on it. Like I want to be on top of my shit on 10 every time I step out of the house.
Right.
Every moment I want to be, and honestly, on a budget, you can still be on 10 and the baddest bitch out there.
Period.
It's just when I was a kid, I was just like, what? How does their hair always look so perfect? How is it always so perfectly dyed? When I can't, when I trying to juggle a job and do that, when they
Mm-hmm.
don't do anything all day, all they can do is like, go to a nail salon, get hair
Yeah.
extensions, get their hair dyed. I now realize, okay, like I just have to be a bad bitch, realistic to me.
Yeah, in your own way.
Yes, that was the comparison. Like, why did I try to do so much in the same way they did when we're in completely different
Mm-hmm.
tax brackets?
Yeah. Admiring these certain celebrities made you feel like you're a part of a community, you know, because then you could talk about these celebrities' lives with other people.
Who was a celebrity that you felt you were in a community with, or by even following them on Instagram? Who's somebody that you felt like, oh, if I met somebody and they also fuck with this person, I would get along with them?
I don't know, but like what I do notice, because I'm just mentioning them because they're just everywhere, but I didn't necessarily, like, I wasn't the biggest fans of them, but just because they're literally everywhere, you can't help to like get involved with the Kardashians, you know, like whether you wanted to like them or not, like they're always brought up in conversation. I was like, they had so many reality shows and I love reality shows. So like, you know, naturally gravitated towards it. And
they're brought up all the time, and they have their fingers in just about everything. Like,
I know, they're literally everywhere. It's kind of scary. Like, what the fuck?
Every store. And that's where I feel like where I'm in I feel conflicted about influencers, because, and I now can't really even take them seriously, because I'm like, no matter what you're famous for, at the end of the day, they're just salespeople.
For sure. I literally know someone who buys every single Kylie Jenner cosmetics product. She doesn't even wear makeup. So
what?
Yeah, I'm like, you're literally just buying everything just because you like idolize Kylie Jenner.
I would love it if it was me. Like, I would so love that if it was me. If it was me, like, oh, it doesn't matter what type of bullshit I put out, people are gonna buy it anyway. Like, I heard that her cosmetic, when she first came out with those Kylie like lip stuff, that it was made in like the exact same place as the ColourPop.
Yeah.
I was like, that is such bullshit that she's charging Sephora prices for something that is basically drugstore. Like,
yeah.
how do we let rich people get away with this?
I don't know. Can we be one of them though? Shit. I wouldn't.
All right, buy our Precious Thought hair care.
Yeah. But we would actually make good products. I wouldn't rip everyone off.
Yeah, I want to put out any foo product, I think.
I know. I'm saying that now as like a broke bitch. Like I wouldn't rip y'all off. Maybe just a little bit.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't I take advantage? If I've been rich my whole life, why would it even cross my mind? Like, who am I taking advantage of people? Like, how do I become ethical? How do I release this ethically? Like, no.
True. I guess you wouldn't
really
think about that. If I've been
rich my entire life, I'm just like, how can I expand my bag with the bag that I have at the least cost?
True. I guess that's how rich people stay rich.
Rich people are snakes, and I don't want to even get into that, because, you know, I feel judgy sometimes. I feel judgy. I definitely, when I meet somebody and like we start talking and they like let up that they're kind of rich. I'm staying at my dad's second house in Malibu. I'm like, tab noted. Do not trust this hoe.
For real.
And I mostly like people because their music. I wouldn't say I'm big on influencers. Like, I hardly know influencers.
Early in the 2010s, the makeup guru era, when that shit took over, I was up on that shit. But then I realized they're all fucking scammers. All that makeup product, all those like skincare products fucked my skin up, and in fact made it worse.
Why are they such scammers? Why do they stay? And I noticed this because I was into skincare YouTube. Last year, I was into skincare YouTubers. When I was into skincare YouTubers, I realized they changed their mind about products every couple months when people come to them with feeling disappointed or like they lied to them. Why do they do that? I was like, why do they do that? Like, that's so weird. They went back on what they said about that. Then I realized probably they stopped getting cut a check, or they were getting negative traction on their videos because people kept complaining in their comments, so they go back on the product. And I'm just really like, so what is the truth then? I
didn't know that still happened now, because I was like, I just know back when like Bethany Moda was taking over. Remember that hoe?
All right, so, and then why not move on to our next little question about influencers, since influencers are the topic of the day. How do influencers affect our sense of self? What are some positives influencers can inspire us? Because I'm sure there's celebrities, like we said, like some celebrities inspire us with, like Nicole from Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
She was some representation, or like I said, like Sierra, she's such a good dancer. I am inspired to do my thing, dance.
Do you want to step? Basically, celebrities and influencers like sell kind of like a fantasy. So it kind of gives you like a drive, gives you something to work towards or like aspire to be. So that's kind of some positives that looking up to influencers and celebrities can have on you. What about you? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say since so many celebrities, when they give interviews, we don't really know, like we can't be for sure that they're being 100% themselves. Like I'm sure influencers have to have a persona on the internet. They have that internet persona. They can't just tweet out or Instagram every single thing that's going on to them. They have to be very strategic with what they post, which is why to me they're just kind of salespeople. Like exactly what you're saying, they're selling a dream.
Yeah.
So to me, a positive effect would be people who, even though that is expected of them, they go against it and they just kind of be funny. They do Instagram lives. They're very genuine. I noticed that with Instagram lives, like they're very genuine. I would say like the City Girls are people who, I would say like JT, she pretty much tweets everything. Like her Twitter is really funny, and they do lives where they're just talking to each other, banter like what we're kind of even doing. And I'm like, wow, like who else is doing that?
Yeah, not really anyone is. That's really cool.
In the same way, they're still selling a lifestyle to people through their Instagram posts, but they break down that wall with their fans, which is why I think they have so many fans. I mean, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
definitely a City Girls fan, just because they break down that wall, because we kind of get to see them all the time in Instagram live, and like I see them tweet everything, like they Young Miami and JT, like they pretty much
real.
Yeah, they tweet everything. Like they're always on there. So I appreciate that, rather than somebody who doesn't even versus somebody who doesn't even run their own Twitter.
Yeah, I don't trust those.
It gives a sense of trust.
But it's also important, like the representation, to like represent all kinds of people, like that's why I was so geeked over Nicole from the Pussycat Dolls. I'm like, my Filipino queen, yes.
No, I agree with that. I mean, every person, honestly, when they're a kid, they want to see somebody who looks like them on the screen. And that's why I'm happy we've come to a place where almost everything has to have diversity. Some things still feel very textbook cover.
Yeah.
Of diversity, but there's some things that are really natural, like some shows that they clearly cast people who just like their personality fits the role versus just like trying to fit a diversity quota.
Yeah, you could definitely tell some things are forced.
How can we keep going with that? Like everyone is so aware that that's going on too. That's why I don't fully trust some influencers and their intentions, because I feel like, who do they have in their ear telling them to post
appeal
things?
To a certain crowd.
Appeal to.
But I mean, can you really trust any celebrity, or everyone's just out for their bag?
Yeah, even though, like I said, like, it builds, even with JT, like the City Girls, I love them, obviously, and I listen to their music, it still is, I have a sense of trust with them. At the same time, I'm aware I don't know them. And I don't actually know them. I shouldn't have any expectations of them, because who am I to them? Like they're not trying to do anything for me. This is my opinion when it comes to like Doja Cat. We all know Doja Cat, how she's a little problematic. But maybe my controversial opinion is that why are people disappointed in Doja Cat when, like, why did you have any expectations of her when you don't know her?
And I think that's when like idolizing celebrities becomes like a problem, when you start to expect things or get like upset, like then it becomes like obsessive, and it's like, they don't owe you anything, and they're not, at the end of the day, like, they're people, like, and they don't really owe anyone anything. But like being a fan, like, people feel like they know them, but it's like you don't know them.
I'm
No.
saying they have their entire life. They have a whole life before you. Before you
Yeah.
even became their fan. They don't actually know you. What's some of these negative effects of celebrity idolization? Like, one of them is, expecting too much and getting too involved. Obviously, it sounds like getting too involved and making that too big of a part of your life is one of the negative effects. Or some other
Yeah. To overlook a lot of like bad shit, like the bad that they do. King Elvis Presley, what was he, like 26, 24, and his Priscilla was like 14 years old.
Excuse me?
And he's like,
she was what?
14, bro. That was
I did not know that.
Yeah, and like, why are we so okay with pedophilia and like domestic abuse and shit like that? Cause what, they was in a movie? Cause they be singing some shit? Like,
can I be honest here? I've always hated Elvis Presley.
Me too, like Loki. But he's such like this big icon.
Can I tell a little side story that isn't? Oh, I guess it is on idol worship a bit, because this was insane. I went us on a road trip, 3.5 hours in Memphis, because they idolize Elvis Presley.
It's disgusting.
And I didn't even know all that about him.
Yeah. Because most of it's covered up. It's like pushed under the rug because it's who they are. Like, what? So many white actors.
Actors honestly have the most craziest lives from the beginning of film history. Like, I had a little phase where I was reading like old actors, like from the 1930s, like some tea on there, some like gossip. And bro, half of them are all, I don't know what's with Hollywood, but they've always been crazy.
Oh, I believe that. But we shouldn't talk too much about that.
Yeah, they're gonna be watching us.
I know.
We're gonna be on a list.
Once we get 100 views, they're gonna be like, take them down. They know too much about
They know too much. I know. And I don't want to turn this into one of those Illuminati videos.
Yeah, no, conspiracy shit. No, okay. They're all pedophiles. We can move on. But also some negative effects of like being too enwrapped in like celebrities' lives. When your like attention is so focused on people that don't even know you, it could like, make your depression worse, make you stressed out, have poor body image. I know, like growing up, idolizing a bunch of, back in the early 2000s, skinny legends, that was a thing, right? So like I was so fucked up of that. I'm like, I will never be a size 0. Like I will never belong. I'll never fit in. And that like greatly attributed to like my poor body image, because I'm like, oh my God. But now all these thick queens, I'm like, yes, bitch, I'm fucking proud to be a fat bitch. And what of it, That's why representation is so important. And also not being too consumed with celebrities. Because it's like, most of the celebrities that I looked up to, all these skinny legends, had like eating disorders themselves. And, they weren't happy, or they're overworked, or like, it's not the best conditions. It's not perfect. But just the way they make it seem, it's like, how could you not be like so obsessed with them?
Yeah, that's going back to the icon I chose, which was Paris Hilton.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, they're famous for doing nothing. Their life must be so great. When in reality, it's like, what, they do cocaine all day.
Yeah, they have like major substance abuse issues, and like, and what did her documentary come out? Like she was like abused as a kid. Like, their life isn't all what it seems like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like easy to just be like, oh, like they're just spoiled rich. Like that's so cool. Like I am waiting. Speaking on that, going back to Kylie Jenner, like I am waiting for the Kylie. Like when we're old and that Kylie Jenner documentary comes out.
Oh yeah.
I know it's
gonna be juicy.
It's gonna be juicy because I have an inkling that, like, I don't put too much time thinking about this, but when I first saw her like starting to get all the plastic surgery, whatever, I'm just like, why do I feel like this is something with her mom,
Inner turmoil or something? Yeah.
Yeah, like what's going on with her? Because it's like, I'm not saying you need to like go through something or have a poor body, even have a poor body image to get plastic surgery, but obviously to change your body so much and the way you naturally look so much, like what's going on there?
And then also, like, when she got it done at the beginning, she was denying it. So obviously, like, if you're doing it because you want to, people, you would own that shit and be like, yeah, I got it because I wanted to. But she was like, no, I didn't do shit to my face.
That's the difference, is like people who change their body so much, like versus like the Claremont twins influencers, like they are so open about everything they've done. Like, yeah, I've gotten whatever, like this many surgeries. I like it. I want to be plastic. Like, there's a difference between like trying to sell this false reality. Obviously, there's something going on internally, trying to not be real, like versus just being honest and being like, I want to be plastic.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, like, right? If I got money, shit, I name 5 things I could do right now
to my body. There's this one TikTok, and it was like, everyone's asking me about my like workout method, and she had, like the perfect body, the perfect skin. She's like, okay, guys, I'm gonna drop the workout method, and it was just search his Instagram, and I'm like, see, that's the real people I fuck with. That's the type of real people I fuck with, like.
And you know what? Why it's also toxic when we start idolizing celebrity relationships. We put our own love lives into the hope of these celebrities. And then when they break up, when Brad and Angelina broke up, bruh, my heart. What is love? There is no love. If Liam and Miley Cyrus can't make it, if Brangelina can't make it, how the fuck am I supposed to make it?
Right.
And that's fucked up because
when we have no idea what's going on in their
I know, literally, but we're just like, they're perfect. They're perfect and they have money and they can't make it work and they have kids together. They can't make it work. There is no hope. And that's toxic. Because then you get some unrealistic expectations out of relationships, and like then you yourself become toxic and engulfed in like we were talking about earlier, they're selling the fantasy.
I've definitely been a victim of that, like having an ideal relationship in mind based on what I see. Like, I'm like, why can't I have that? Like,
relationship goals.
Instead of working it out, like, I want someone who can work shit with me. I'm like, why doesn't my man get me a Birkin? Why can't my man get me a Birkin?
For real. He don't love me if he ain't give me the Birkin.
So Weedy says my man needs to give me a Birkin.
I mean, if my man was Quavo, I would expect a Birkin too.
And that's where we have to keep it real.
Yeah, because we all are dating Quavo here.
That's where we have to keep it real here. Like, it's easy to see that and be like, well, obviously, if he's not going to buy me a car for my birthday, I don't want him. Okay, but can you buy anybody a car for their birthday? What are you getting people for their birthday? A goodie bag from Family Dollar or a car?
For real.
And then gift card to Starbucks or a Birkin? What are you buying?
Are you getting a share of Starbucks or are you getting a Starbucks drink? There's a difference.
Are you and your man buying 2-for-1 Frappuccinos? Are you going to Nobu?
Oh, Nobu. Oh my goodness. Take me to Nobu for Valentine's Day.
I would take you there, Emma.
Aw, babe. No, I'd rather spend money on something more useful. The fuck's sushi?
I would call us an Uber to Nobu so we can take pictures in front of Nobu.
Bitch took me to Nobu. Yeah.
And then we can go to Subway.
And then buy an ounce.
Yeah. Period. I think that's a way better use of our money, because that's a whole night. Like, once Nobu is over, like, what are we gonna do? How sad would it be to take the train home from Nobu? That kind of brings me back to celebrity relationships. Like, should get what we can afford for
Mm-hmm.
our partners,
Mm-hmm.
not hope to get something that we think. We can't elevate people materially
Mm-hmm.
at our tax bracket if we can't get do the same for ourselves. We should be able to buy it
Yes.
twice
Mm-hmm.
before we be gifted it to other people. I'm not going broke buying my man a car,
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm trying to say.
Right? It's unrealistic.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a show in an Uber, funny
Mm-hmm.
enough, and I don't remember the show. I'm pretty sure it's pretty popular. It's like Quake. The topic that they brought up was like, what's that one thing that really says like this person's the one? And the girl was like, well, I need a man who's going to like pay all my bills,
Oh my gosh.
buy me things. Second thing is she needs a man who will do things for her, like she said, like take out her hair or like help her do stuff. And all the guys like, oh hell no, like I don't know how to do that and I'm not gonna help you do it. Which
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I think it easier is, how is that not easier than paying all the fucking bills? I forgot what the third thing was, but after she said all that, I'm like, it sounds like you want a mother.
Yes.
Like it sounds like you want
Yes.
somebody, a nurturer. It sounds like you want a caregiver. It doesn't sound like you want a partner. Because it, and then all of them said that they're like, well, how can you expect all that? Yet you won't. You don't want to do any of it in return in order to elevate them. Like y'all need to elevate each other like
Mm-hmm.
equally. And I agreed with them on that. Like obviously the guys were also saying some shit I didn't agree with.
Of
It was
course.
a raunchy show. It was a raunchy
Rachi
show.
show.
It was a raunchy show. But I was like, damn, like, why does she expect so much for like, I gotta pay all of her bills, also buy her things, but also be there to do very intimate things with her, and then also be down for her no matter what, basically, and like support her in every single thing like that she does. I think was what the last thing she was saying was. I'm like, how can he do all of that realistically? Like to pay all your shit and his shit, he need to be at work all the time.
Yeah.
Like
The
I am
fuck?
thinking practicality, like how would that practically actually work out?
She want a pet.
Yeah, that's why I think like with that, like if she finds somebody who can do all of that for her, like that's awesome. Like that
Mm-hmm.
is so sick. It's just it's not gonna come without a trade-off.
Yeah.
Like how could that come without a trade-off? Like they're either not gonna be able to be there all the time or they're gonna be a type of way. I noticed that with some couples, like couples that like the dude's always doing a lot or paying for everything or always gifting them stuff, they're usually kind of, I'm not saying all of them, I noticed they're usually kind of abusive or kind of
Yes, because
they're compensating. It seems
yes.
like they're compensating for something, which is what I see in a lot of celebrity couples. It's just like a lot of celebrities are pretty narcissistic and
Mm-hmm.
don't really give four fucks about other people. That's why there's always celebrity goss and there's always celebrity couples. Like it almost seems normal that like celebrity couples like cheat on each other or like there's always some
Yeah,
shit like that because celebrities are pretty narcissistic. There's actually like a
absolutely.
fact for that. It's like most people who are celebrities score like 10 out of like 13 on the narcissistic scale.
And I feel like you have to be to want to to want all that, to have, yeah, no, people be obsessed with you and everything. Like you have to be a little bit narcissistic. And you know what? I was watching my 600-pound life where it's about overweight people, morbidly obese people trying to lose weight and stuff like that. And then there's these couples that um like won't support their weight loss journey at all, like just enable them to like eat more and everything. And it's because they don't want the other person to be independent. They want someone to like rely on them and like be there for them no matter what. And it's psychotic.
Oh, that's so
Psychotic.
sad.
I know it is. And then one, like, it was a whole family, and he was like, after he picked her up from surgery, he went through like the drive-through and ate a bunch of fast food in front of her. And then he was like, if you want a salad, go eat grass or some shit. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, that's psychotic, bro. Like,
Oh my God, I'm so sad to hear that because it's like, how would they be without this person in their life? How would they be without this person? And it's the thing is like, it sounds like they're so attached to them that they can't even like see that they're like the main reason they're like that, probably because it's easy to be like, I did this to myself, like because I eat so much.
mm-hmm.
But it's like, what is driving you to eat?
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not only them, like, yeah, sure, we can't put the full blame on them, like the person chose to do that to themselves. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
without a support system around you for your like addictions, how are you going to get through them?
Yeah. And I feel like, these people are aware of that, but they'd rather see them die and be miserable and like slowly kill themselves than have any sort of like independence and like doing things for themselves. Like one guy literally got jealous because she was like working out. He's like, you don't need me. Like, what? Like, she's just trying to, live.
It sounds like these people hate themselves so much. Like they could be like narcissistic, but like don't want to show it, so they just like how we were talking about projection. They're like the extreme form of that. They just project that onto whatever vulnerable person and just be like tearing them down because they feel like shit about themselves, probably.
Yeah, like in a super extreme way. Because even though I
Yeah.
have my projection problems, I would never like, bruh,
I
there,
would never tear somebody down who
there.
is doing good for themselves, who wants to better themselves. That's like the one thing I feel like I love. Like I love seeing people better themselves.
No, yeah, for real. I feel, I don't know. It's just weird, like when people have, like, feel some sort of way about that. It's like you would want people to support you and want you to do better. So why would you not do the same for someone else?
Yeah, and that's another thing going back to celebrities. I noticed people are so supportive. Of course, celebrities have haters. It just sometimes I feel like people are more supportive to people who are already on versus people who are trying to do better for themselves and slowly doing getting their glow up on, like their
Mm-hmm.
friends who are trying to glow up, there'll be hateration to them
Yeah.
versus they'll like all a celebrities pictures. I mean, I've literally seen it. Like people are like talking all day, like, oh, like this person is goals, like this, that, and
Mm-hmm.
third, instead of being like, oh, like my friends inspire me. Like the
Mm-hmm.
past year, I'm trying to be more of like, who are my inspirations? My friends. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
like, it sounds weird, but that's how it
No, it
is.
literally is. Because I think about it all the time. Like, literally, my friends are my inspiration. You are my inspiration. Michaela, like, Melissa, all a bunch of independent bad bitches. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not want to be surrounded by that and, like, support that? And, like, you know, and why would you rather hype up someone you don't even fucking know? Like, you don't know, they don't know who you are at all. Celebrities don't know who the fuck you are, but yet you're their number one supporter, and like you rather see them do good than like your friend. That's on some weird shit.
And it's so it's normalized to the
It
point where I
is.
didn't even realize, honestly, I did that. Like I hyped up celebrities in my head more
Mm-hmm.
than like really even my friends until I kind of stopped going on social media a little bit and kind of took a step back and like really reflected on my life. I say
Mm-hmm.
that about like everything, but everything needs reflection.
Yeah,
Let's
of course.
reflect. I'm like, I feel like I pay more attention to what celebrities are doing or certain influencers or certain YouTubers. Like, why am I so quick to click their things
Mm-hmm.
that like I've been lagging on like listening to my friend's playlist for like 2 weeks.
Right, yeah, like, yeah, that's funny.
Happens to the best of us.
True,
Now I'm
like,
like, why am I comparing and looking up to someone I don't know when I can be working with somebody or doing things with people I love and listening and reading things from people I know and I know their life story and I know things about them.
it's so like it's so inspiring. Like my cousin, I didn't even know he had a podcast until like a month ago. But like once I got on that shit, I was like, I'm obsessed. Like he has Twitch. Shout out to Oh Hello Blogs. Check him out on Twitch, Instagram, and like he is like so
Shout
inspirational
out.
with his plant, right? His plants and like everything he does it like with 100%, and like it's so inspirational. And like to know that that's my cousin, like gets me so hyped, you know, like
All our
versus,
blood.
right?
I love that.
So fuck all these celebrities, they're fake as fuck and don't even give a fuck about you. And my cousin even helped me, gave me some tips. You think
Celebrities?
Trisha Paytas would give me tips on podcasts? No. That bitch.
She would. I can't.
I can't.
She would. Oh, she definitely would not answer. And if she did,
No.
who knows what she would fucking say, honestly.
Bro, yeah, she's a wild card, honestly.
Is Trisha an influencer? What is her category?
I feel like, yeah, because what she started off as a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah, an influencer. Anyways, what the fuck were we talking about? Sorry, why did I bring up Trisha Paytas?
Because we're talking about, it's the influencer episode, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's the influencer episode. You're talking about expectations we have from relationships. That's how we started into this.
Yes, relationships.
You know, like someone buying you a Birkin, that's not going to happen. Posting cute pictures from the Bahamas together with them grabbing your BBL. That's not going to happen to me.
Goals.
That could be me and you, Emma.
If I could not squat a day in my fucking life and have a fast, I would love to.
And we were talking about being realistic about that because we would do it if we could. Who wouldn't do it if you couldn't?
Right? Who wouldn't want to like get a few fillers? Like I have wrinkles and I'm 23. So
who wouldn't? Who just wouldn't?
You're a fucking liar if you said you wouldn't.
You are a fucking liar if you said you wouldn't. But yeah, we were talking about celebrity couples, couple influencers. You know, like this social media just causes such a problem with relationships.
Yes, it does.
With not only the amount of people who can give relationship advice, and this is also middle of the episode disclaimer, we are not relationship experts.
Oh, fuck no.
In no way we are really relationship experts. We have problems with relationships too, with social media too.
Oh God, just trust issues.
It's just like, why has social media created such a problem in relationships? Like, I see divorce court. I watch divorce court. Honestly, divorce court, damn near my favorite show. Like, it's definitely up there.
Where do you watch it at?
Hulu.
Divorce court on Hulu. I'm on
divorce court is literally the shit. But I'm not even lying. You half of these people are going to divorce court over something that happened on social media. Like they are on the brink because he keeps looking at bitches on Instagram. I can't take it anymore. It racks my brain to the point where I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with thinking that he is following all these hoes on Instagram, this, that, and a third. They're in divorce court. That has been like, because the show has been going on since like the early 2000s, but the past like 3 years, like you just see the episodes mostly climbing. Almost every single episode of Divorce Court mentions social media. So like, what are these problems that social media has caused in relationships?
But you know, like,
it's gonna be a hoe. Ray Shremmer said that.
Whether they got social media or not, that shit gonna come out.
A hoe just gonna be a hoe.
But
and a slut just gonna be a slut.
Slut is gonna But like, you know, like I noticed with like relationships around me, someone fought, like your significant other following someone causes a fight. Them liking a picture causes a fight and shit. And like you can't help but compare yourself to like the fucking influencers that are liking pictures of and being like, damn, like I'm not them, and you're all up in their shit. Like, what the fuck?
You were looking disrespectfully.
This
is a situation where, because it happens so often, it's hard not to put people on blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, Even to the point where, I mean, I see on Twitter all the time, it's like when he doesn't have a social media, it is now something that is seeked out. Like, oh my God, he doesn't have, like, he doesn't have
but I learned
media?
firsthand that it don't fucking matter. You should be
Well,
even more suspicious if you don't got social media.
That's what I said to my nail tech. My girl Zion did my nails, and she was like, "Yeah, but he was cool. He doesn't have social media. He only had Snapchat." I was like,
"Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst." My little Capricorn before, he just had a Snapchat.
Oh no, that is bad. That's worse.
That's the worst of them all. If you got Snapchat, oh man, I only use Snapchat for drug dealers. But if you, I know that's not what everyone be using Snapchat for.
Oh no, I said he only has Snapchat. No, that's bad.
That's the worst, bro. No, but like you see, like sketchy. these are issues that, you know, Gen Zers and millennials are having. You know, it's fairly new and it's pretty ridiculous too. You know, that we're like, oh, if you ain't got a social media, that's it. You know, like what the fuck do we sound like?
Right? Like instead, I'm not gonna look into his soul. I'm gonna be like, what social media do you have? What's your dreams versus what's your social media?
I know, getting to know someone. So what's your Instagram handle? How many followers do you have?
Oof. I would be, if someone just met me and asked me how many followers I have, what would I do?
I would lie. I'd be like 10K.
10K, and I just went private, so no, you can't have it.
Yeah, you can't follow me. Sorry, babes, but just know I'm that bitch.
Sorry, babes. You can swipe up on my story.
Oh man,
yeah, that reminds me. Have you seen the verified houses?
No, what the fuck is that?
Reminds me. So there's this thing going around. It was actually an artist that made it. It was like a joke. But there's like, oh, if you live in LA, you can now sign up. If you're verified on Twitter, you can sign up and you can get a blue check mark on your house so people know you're verified.
What? So what the fuck?
So everyone knows you're a very important person.
But why would you want that? Like, that's like putting a hit on your house. That's saying, hey, come rob me because I got millions of followers and I probably got some expensive ass shit up in here. What the fuck?
That was kind of the joke of it all. And everyone's like, who would sign up for this? Right? Like, that's like, you want to live.
A lot of people.
Over 500 people signed up for it. But it wasn't real.
Oh, they should have made it real. Get some money off of them shit.
What the fuck?
You want to pay hundreds of dollars to paint a blue check mark on your shit? That's actually smart. Let me go do that real quick. Put a Craigslist up. Craigslist app.
Hey, do you have over 50K?
Over 50. That's funny.
Hey, let me paint this on your house. And then I just come there and hit a lick on you.
For real. Oh my gosh.
I was gonna say, realistically, what should we expect from relationships since we're in this crazy chaos, this crazy social media maze.
In this time. No one ever told me what getting a relationship is actually like. And I resent everyone around me for
that. What did you think? What was your base level of like, what's a good relationship? Like, what did you think a good relationship was? Or what do you think a good relationship is?
Well, equal effort. That's the biggest part. Like, I feel like, yeah, that's something that is most of the time like a lot, like one person is putting in more effort than the other. But also being honest and like being open, like comfortable communicating issues and stuff like that. Because I always felt like in my previous relationships that I didn't want to like upset them or like I didn't want to um make them feel some sort of way, but even if I had an issue with something, so then I would just like hold it inside, and that doesn't feel good, like, you know, or like how they would react and stuff like that. So like being in a being honest with them.
How did that internalizing and not communicating manifest like in your relationships in the past?
I feel like it definitely, with what we were talking about in last podcast about like how I project, that definitely made it worse, you know, because I couldn't talk about the real issue that was bothering me, so I would like blow something else up out of proportion and like get upset about that, because like, yeah, it like got some of my frustrations out, but you know, in the end, it's not what was actually bothering me. But and then it just turned into just fighting every day and like being uncomfortable with like talking about things, when that's what a fucking relationship is being able to talk to your partner about what's bothering you. And that's the one thing I couldn't do, you know. But
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Sounds like it became a kind of downward spiral of y'all both just not communicating.
yeah. And then also like getting into relationships, like I know I didn't have the purest intentions, the best intentions going into it. It was very selfish intentions, you know, like I didn't want to deal with my own shit. I didn't want to be alone. You know, it's easier to focus on someone else and their problems than to like look at yourself and your own problems. So like in wrapping someone in that is just putting more stress on both of us, you know. It's just putting two people with problems who don't know how to fix it into it. And then I feel like they didn't have the best intentions either. So like two people going into a relationship with like not the best intentions, it gets messy. But like no one told me relationship was work, you know. No one was like, there's a lot of sacrifices you have to make in order to be in a relationship. No one fucking told me that shit. I thought I could have my cake and I can have this to that, you know, like, no, you can't have everything and you're gonna have to make sacrifices. And sometimes, not to say it's all for nothing, but like, you know, when you feel like you're putting your all in and like making all these sacrifices for someone and it not being reciprocated, like, what?
And y'all aren't kissing in Jamaica.
Not like that. No one told me that.
Or
That's what
not
I
living a
wanted.
movie.
Right? That's what I imagine, is that I could just have my best friend come sleep next to me and everything's Gucci. We split rent and we all live happily ever after. No, it's not it like that at all.
Just not it.
What did you have any expectations, and your expectations, did they live up to it?
I would say I agree. Like with the intentions, it's a kind of even subconscious intention of getting into this is gonna make me happy.
Yes, that part. I thought it was gonna solve all my problems.
Then it's like, why am I not happy?
Yeah.
And it's not always the relationship that's the problem. It's like, well, shouldn't this be making me happy? Like, why isn't it? Really, it's me needing to work out stuff internally before moving forward in a relationship. And it takes like, I feel brave even admitting that. Like, I feel brave saying like, oh, I have to work through things myself because this one thing I cannot let it become our problem. So many things that's one person's problem in a relationship becomes their problem. And that's fine if it's talked about and it's like, hey, I'm going through this and I want your help with it. But when people are thrown into things, it's acceptable for them to not know how to act, especially when it's like, like they didn't ask to really be a part of that problem. And real down people are obviously going to help you with that problem, but it will take a toll on your relationship when y'all weren't clear with that when it's like, oh, I thought this was going to be a casual thing, but now someone's going through, like, this is an example. Like, for example, I thought this was going to be a real casual thing. Now they're going through something and they're really needy now. And we didn't discuss this. It's just going to manifest later with the person who's kind of holding back and being like, I need space. Like when they're not announcing they need space, it's going to just manifest later, and everything's going to fall apart because they're going to get so overwhelmed with helping this person with this, whatever they're going through, because they're holding back their own emotions
and their needs. And
never hold back your needs and your emotions. If the relationship is right, they should be equal on that. Like, yeah, I understand, like, we need to have that balance. Like, I respect your needs, you respect mine. When I'm needing you or a lot more, I'll respect when you need space. Like, you help me out, I'll help you out. That's what I don't think. Reciprocation is what a lot of people don't understand in relationships. It's just like, they should be here all the time, they should be doing everything. Like, they just expect too much. Not realistic expectations. Like, it's not a movie. They're not going to show up to your work every day with flowers. If they do, real. That's really fucking weird.
Yes, love. That's weird. That's obsessive. It's not normal.
They might be a psychopath. They might they might kill you. They might be a stalker.
You. Yes. No, you got a stalker.
Kill you.
Yeah. Okay. And it's easy for me, like, looking back at my relationship and seeing what was wrong with it. But like when you're in it, it's hard, because obviously you care for the person, even though like things aren't working out or they're not understanding you, and it just takes like a big toll on you. And really what you need is to work on yourself. And if you realize that before you got in a relationship, things would be a lot better.
And that's what it's like. It sounds so cliche, like, learn to love yourself. Like, you're not gonna love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else?
But it's true. No one told me that. No one's like, go to therapy first before you get in a relationship.
RuPaul told me that, but I didn't listen.
Should always listen to RuPaul.
RuPaul told me that, but I didn't listen, except that he's cracked. We're not going to get into that. What are some hard truths about relationships? What are some hard truths that we have for our viewers today?
Yeah, so if you didn't know, relationships are work. And I have 38 hard truths about relationships, brought to you by mindbodygreen.com. So I'm going to ask you this, and you're the one in the relationships. Tell me the yes or no. Which, I mean, this is all true, but you won't always like your partner. I know for a fact, I fucking hated my ex so many fucking times. I was like, boy, I had to fucking do some really bad shit to you, but it's abusive. You can't do that shit.
Oh.
Self-aware queen.
But at least you know, and you try not to.
I didn't. I never did. Let's
clearly air. I never did. I wasn't sure.
I never did.
Cardi B said that they're like, speaking on influencers, Cardi B was like, people were making all these assumptions, like, like, I could tell, like, Offset was really abusive. They were like making all these claims about Offset, and Cardi B responded to it with, abusive, I'm the one who be doing the hitting.
No.
Laughy face.
That's not a laughy face.
And I'm like, oh, Cardi B.
That's not the way to defend your man.
I giggled, but at the same time, I was like, no, don't admit that you be doing the hitting.
I know, shit.
I'm like, what? What kind of court case?
Yes, I do the cleaning. Yes, I beat his ass.
She said, I don't cook, I don't clean.
I'll beat the fool's ass.
But I'll beat his ass. I'm just like, queen, really? No. Yeah, what's the next one?
You won't always feel attracted to your partner.
I've always been attracted to my partner.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was always
attracted to them. Sometimes I don't be feeling them, like.
You will feel irritated. Duh. you won't always miss your partner when you're away from each other. That wasn't true for me though. That wasn't true. Cause I always miss them. Like, the fuck, how are you not gonna miss you?
I don't for
No.
like a couple hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is, and I think it's more of a stigma, like social stigma. Like I see these movies and they're like Girls' Day, like Girls' Day, like
World's
all the
Day.
ladies leave your man at home. Like it's a little girl, you know. I'm like, okay, that's me. I don't want to worry about my man.
Period.
I'm going to the club, or
The
I'm
club.
I'm going to Vegas. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna think about them. I'm not gonna miss them. But then I like get there and I settle in, and my mind gets to thinking. When my mind gets to thinking,
You're like,
I'm like,
what's Faye doing?
Miss Bay.
What's Shorty doing? I miss Shorty. I
I
feel
talk
it.
a big talk though,
No,
saying I'm
I
not
know.
gonna miss them.
I know. You're like, "Ooh, I miss Juan." I'm like, oh my God, gross. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I'm just like, I have no one to miss.
I miss you too. I say it all the time.
Okay. Oh, you do? You miss me?
Yeah, I say that. I'm like, I hang up with Emma. I'm like, that was so nice talking to
No,
Emma
for
for 2
real.
hours. I miss Emma.
No, literally, I'm the same way. I was like, oh, what a nice conversation with Alessandra. I miss her already. You will feel bored at times.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Will wonder if there's someone better at times. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, I could do better.
We're
But I
just
could
tooting
do
and booting
better.
these. Yeah, you could do better.
Yeah. That's why we're not together.
All my bad bitches could do
Anyways.
better.
No, honestly, can we talk about how bad bitches could do so much better?
Always.
Every bad bitch in my life, if I know you personally, you could do better. I mean, you minus you, Alessandra. I'm not, no shade, Juan. I love you, Juan. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to love you. But I'm talking about everyone else. You know who you are. Y'all could do better. What the fuck? You will feel lonely at times. Yeah, I feel like you
That's with everyone. I feel like just that's a misconception. Like,
yeah,
being in a relationship isn't gonna cure
loneliness.
Yeah, solve loneliness.
Yeah. Yes, so don't expect it to, because that's putting too much on someone. Your partner is not your clone, and difference can be challenging. Yeah, differences can be challenging. I'm like, can't you just think the way I think? Like, what the fuck? Your heart will open and close. Well, yeah, I feel like if your trust is like betrayed, I feel like you'd be closed off sometimes. But that's situation. That's circumstantial. Yeah, that's the word. You will feel
words.
Your sex life will be challenging at times. Yes, especially if there's a high sex drive partner and a low sex drive partner. Yup. They're like, why you just want sex? I'm like, okay, how we turn this around?
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's why if you're in a relationship and that's the only person you talk to, it's just like especially bad, because it's like, damn, like I'm only getting like one type of intimacy or one type of affection from this person. I'm not getting that like friendly hug or like friendly, like I love cuddling my friends. Like, and I miss that sometimes, and I need that.
I know.
And I'm open about that. I'm mostly talking about with Emma. I'm open to that with my partner. But when I go to Vegas, I sleep with Emma in the bed. We don't be doing anything sexy.
We don't be licking pussies, but
okay, guys. Sorry to let all our viewers down who shipped us, but we don't be licking pussies. But we do cuddle, and I love that. That's an intimacy that I love, and that affection, that just friendly affection. And there's nothing wrong with that. But people think I'm in a relationship, they should cover all those bases.
Sometimes people aren't cuddlers. You can't force them. Go cuddle your friend.
Some people hate cuddling.
I know, which I'm like, I'm gonna hold you. I don't care. You won't always want to have sex. That's not on my side, but yeah. Different sides, yeah. I was like, geez, I'm the dog here.
I don't know who started the thing like, oh, when you live together, like y'all can
Sex
have
on
like sex
tap.
all the time. And what?
That
Who
is
the
not
fuck said that?
true.
It's like,
If anything, it goes down when you move together. You
oh yeah.
know,
It's like y'all are prioritizing your time, and when you live together, it's like, wow, we're being adults now.
mhm.
Kids are the people who are so sex. I mean, kids. I know kids shouldn't be having sex, but I'm saying
Period.
immature. I'll say immature young adults are the
Yeah.
ones who seek out. That's the relationship. Is like seeking out like rendezvous type
Mhm.
of vibe, which
Yeah.
that's
That's not
not
realistic.
the vibe when you live together. There's no what we gonna rendezvous to the bathroom.
You know, we can sneak.
Oh, let's rendezvous to the closet. Like
It's like when
no.
I moved in, when it was literally just us two, that's when I saw the least amount of action. Real love includes apparent polarities.
Yeah, but the real love, that's great though. Is the polarities? It's because they're filling in. Like it's like who else is gonna fill in that spot that you didn't know like could be unleashed with you,
Mhm.
or some a
True,
trait that
yeah.
you don't do. Like who else is gonna unleash that besides somebody you know very well, like who can really bring that out of you and really
Mhm.
elevate you. That's
Mhm.
why I think the polarity is good. Like I think sometimes people get caught up in the like, oh, well, he's so different, or like they're just so different from me. It's weird. Instead of like being open to like being different, like they want somebody who does all the same things that they do.
Mhm.
When
That's
that
boring.
polarity is, yeah, you learn a lot from people who have completely different jobs or completely different interests and
Yeah, absolutely.
do things completely different. Like my boyfriend is really extroverted and I'm really introverted. I've learned so much about talking to people just from
Mhm.
being around him.
Yeah. Okay. So, real love includes fear. I think so, because putting your whole entire trust into someone, that's
Yeah,
scary. That's scary.
yeah, like why is love love requires vulnerability.
Yeah, and being vulnerable is scary. I don't like that shit. Because then, like, there's always that chance of being like someone knowing your weaknesses and like being open with someone and then like taking advantage of that and like turning it on you, you know?
Sounds like you're paranoid, babe. Yeah, there has to be that equal balance of like letting go of fear, but also trusting intuition, which
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lifetime, I think, to really figure it out. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't think I'm fully there either. I feel like it would be really mindless and effortless to know when something is going to be actually bad versus just being paranoid to trust people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh
a
yeah,
life skill.
trusting. It is because yeah. I mean, once your trust is broken, it's hard to open up, but like you can't hold out forever. You will have thoughts like, I want to leave, I want something else, I want someone else.
I'm sure some people don't think that way. I think this all depends on the like type of person you are.
Yeah. Those are just thoughts, you know. It's normal though.
Certain people are like fully like really great and don't have commitment issues. I strive to be a person like that.
Yeah, but
But straight up, I have commitment issues sometimes, and like
oh,
I'm
he
someone's
laughed at I
laughing.
know.
It's
He's
like, yeah, you do have
commitment
commitment
issues. Yeah.
issues. I am open about it and I know I do. So it's like something I know I'm working through. Those thoughts can be fleeting thoughts and like I don't have to pay them any attention.
How do you work on your commitment issues? I told someone I had commitment issues and they told me to go to therapy.
I go to therapy.
Oh, so that is the key. Fuck, I gotta go to therapy now.
I go to therapy, but honestly, I mean, even before I went to therapy, I just realized they're fleeting thoughts and I don't have to act on them. And I think that's just it's my inner child who was always abandoned. It's my first instinct to be like,
Mm-hmm.
when something's going bad, go away or find something new, different. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not to deal with it instead of working through, like it's just my inner child has such a weak voice that it's like just run. So once I realized that was my voice inside of my head that was really making like I mean, I am the voice inside my head, but I don't have to. I control what I
You don't
do.
have to act on
Yeah,
your
like,
thoughts.
yeah, I don't have to act on my thoughts. They can be like fleeting, and even though I know they're gonna be there because I have commitment issues, I can kind of deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do go to therapy.
Like I've acknowledged where everything, the root of my issues come from. I can't part with those fears, and that's why you should go to therapy.
Well, having those fears validated by somebody who has like a degree and understands them and just kind of changes your perception on how you're thinking about it, it does feel good. And it does feel good to like talk about them. Well, also, it's like instead of just talking about them to somebody who's just going to be like, go to therapy, they have to listen to you. It's their job to listen to you. So instead of that person being like, oh, she got some fucking issues.
I don't think they meant it like that. I feel like they're like, oh, I got issues too. I went to therapy. And you obviously have issues and you should go to therapy. Really? Yeah.
Everyone I say that to kind of gets offended. So I guess I thought they don't get fully offended. They're just like, yeah, when somebody's sad, that's not really what they want to hear is you should try therapy.
Some people like to just want to be cuddled, Cuddled. Yeah. What? Doubtful thoughts like usually come on the heels of feeling disconnected from your partner.
There has to be moments of connecting for sure. And if a relationship gets too comfortable to the point where y'all aren't like having moments where you set times to connect with each other and like check in, it's like obviously gonna be like self-doubting, like, oh, they probably don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
When they do give a fuck, y'all are just comfortable.
True. You will wonder why nobody else talks about how hard it can be. Oh yeah. Once I was in a relationship, I was like, why the fuck no one told me this shit? What the fuck? And then also what I noticed from my previous relationship, I was so fixated on not having my parents' relationship. When you focus on an outcome so much, it's gonna happen. And I was literally mirroring my parents' relationship. And I'm like, how the fuck?
That's why dating young is hard, because I feel like that is honestly what every young person feels like, or at least a young person who didn't have great parents, or like their parents didn't have a good relationship. Like that's like obviously the thing, like I don't want to be like them. Like I feel like that's something dating young is like always going to be a thing.
You can't think like that. My parents' relationship is my parents' relationship. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not them.
We're not them, but how do they affect the people we date and our choices with the people that we date? They do, unfortunately.
Yeah, they do. Oh, gosh.
Parents. What's our next one?
You will see each other at your worst, obviously. You will lash out at each other and say things you don't mean. No, because when I get mad at someone, I'm not like, oh, let me trigger some trauma right now. And like, like, no, that's being malicious.
See, that's not what I thought that question meant. I thought it meant but no, that's valid. That's valid though. Like I've never had someone do that to me, or I've never really done that to somebody. I'm gonna be straight up, like I feel like I'm mostly the toxic one in every relationship I've been in, which I'm working through that. What about when y'all are like, fuck you? Is that considered lashing out? Like y'all get an argument, it's like, you know what, I'm over this, I'm over you, fuck you type of thing. Is saying fuck you like, is that lashing out? Or is there sometimes it gets so heated to the point where I just say I need space away from this, or we're gonna start yelling and just being mean? Like,
no, that's valid though, because like, okay, I used to perceive it as it being like really toxic and shit when they're like, I need to step away from this. I'm like, you don't want to. Maybe I was a toxic one. You're saying what you need in that time and moment and its space, and there's nothing wrong with that. I obviously took it the wrong way. Your boyfriend might have taken it the wrong way too. And so I could see how it's perceived as like, why don't you want to work it out right now? But I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's toxic.
Yeah, it gets toxic when y'all aren't even making an attempt to understand each other and y'all are just yelling. Like, honestly, once it gets to the yelling point, step away. I actually read this and it from a relationship expert, and I do think it works, as weird as it sounds. Like, I just think I need to step away, go on a walk, and talk about it in a different form. to like text about it, which low key, like, it sounds goofy. It sounds really goofy, but it actually works because it's like we're not fully there. I already have a problem with speech and like getting out. So especially when I'm so heated, sometimes I'm in this like blind rage of being mad about something. I'm not watching what I'm saying. So taking myself out of that situation and thinking about what I'm gonna say and then texting it, it helps me.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm more of the shut down person, so that probably would help.
Yeah, yelling is not a good response. Trying
It
not
doesn't
to
solve
yell.
anything at
Try not to
all.
yell as much. Like, that's the main thing I
Yeah.
think. I like in therapy, I'm like, I just don't want to get irritated and say anything that's like upsetting to people or yell it if I'm irritated with a problem, because I definitely, pop off sometimes.
I don't like getting to that point, obviously not gonna smash a brick over his head, but damn near think about it, like but oh man, I have anger issues. You will break each other's trust.
Oh yeah, I mean, if y'all are clear about like expectations, sometimes breaking trust even is like I told you not to eat that thing, but you ate it. Whatever that is for you. But like, honestly, like, also it's just like, don't be so serious about so many things. Like, sometimes it's easy to take petty things like that like so serious.
But what if it's like a reoccurring issue? They're always eating your shit. Like, you gotta pop off. You gotta fight. You will bring your past into relationship. Childhood pain from past relationship, pain from broken friendships.
I mean, we mentioned hashtag trauma and
Yeah,
all of
everything.
these.
Yeah,
Honestly,
so
hashtag trauma
obviously.
to everything. That should just be the
Everything.
response. Don't ask me how I am. I'm gonna say hashtag trauma.
Figure it out. Trauma. You will experience a dark night of the soul of a marriage when you don't know if you'll make it. What is that? If you both hang on and commit to learning, you'll grow next to this. So when does this become like realizing when you should walk away, Because you could tell someone like stick in there, work through it. But what if it like, I feel like there's a thin line between it being like extremely toxic and you should walk away. And there's
Well,
like little hiccups, or not hiccups, but like, issues.
gotta
Where
just
is the line?
people have to figure out the line for themselves, really, because everyone's line is going to be different and everybody describes their own line, because like, everyone's going to say like, oh, leave them.
Yeah, that's true. So it's really up to you.
You define the line, just like with everything in our life, we define it. It's like that Natasha Bedingfield song, Unwritten.
True. Okay, true. I'm not true. Miss the honeymoon phase if there was one. That's what happens with me and my little situationships. Get it? Because that's all that was, a big old ass honeymoon phase.
I noticed that I'm like, why do people who seem to jump around from relationship to relationship seem kind of like, obviously we're different people, but they seem sometimes happier, and it's because they seem to always be in this constant honeymoon phase, just like replace the person.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, because they're living in their own world happily. Breaking hearts. State you have commitment issues at the beginning, not later. You will feel resentful. You will harbor grudges. Do you feel resentful?
We let them all out. Too damn old to be holding on to stuff when we can just kind of fix shit. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these also they can relate to friendships too. There's people out there who have a lot of falling out with friends, kind of see why. It's like their work, no matter what the relationship is, there's just less commitment to friendships.
Yeah. The last one, you will age together.
Aww. That's me and Emma.
Yeah, we're gonna age together.
We're aging together right now, like fine wine.
Literally, like you see us in middle school versus now, bitch. What?
Oh my god.
Why I was so stuck on the comb over bang for so long. I could not embrace my big ass forehead.
And then you got Rihanna, your big forehead representation.
I know. And then I was like, okay, never mind. Let her shine.
What was going on with us? What was going on with our style in middle school?
Yeah. But that wraps up.
Yeah, that kind of covers everything, right? What are some of our concluding thoughts here? What did we learn today?
We learned that heal your inner child before you get into a relationship, perhaps.
I learned hashtag trauma. Gotta work through hashtag trauma in everything.
Period. Gotta face it eventually. Face it right now. Right the fuck now.
Be your best self. Do some inner child work right now. Like go on Pinterest, inner child journal prompt.
Yes. Yes.
Write
those
one.
Prompts.
Write one right now. I swear to God.
It will change your life.
I advocate therapy. I do not advocate idolizing an influencer. That is not therapy.
That's not it. Don't do that. But yeah.
Don't put any effort into somebody you don't know. Keep with the real, and the real is this podcast. Well, we're not. I think the real is actually like a show, but the real shit right here is our precious thoughts that we let out.
Yes.
Toodles.
Bye.